Imagine a psychologically stifling morning scene that repeats itself every day, regardless of your desires or inner state. You barely open your eyes, and the first thing that reaches your consciousness is not your own calm thought, but an overbearing, intolerant voice inside your head. This inner critic whispers relentlessly, sometimes erupting into a deafening shriek of moral coercion. You must be more productive than yesterday. You must look perfect. You must immediately begin seeking a more rewarding relationship. You must radiate absolute happiness. The word must isn't just a word, it's an invisible yet heavy psychological shackle that binds your freest thoughts and natural emotions to unrealistic, utterly unattainable standards of perfection that are constantly being raised and tightened. You're forced to obey this authoritarian inner voice, feeling how the incessant mental tension slowly but inexorably kills your true, authentic motivation and erodes your inner confidence in your own right to choose. Every time you unconsciously utter this word in relation to yourself or others, you voluntarily surrender part of your precious inner power and autonomy to external, inexorable expectations and social norms you didn't choose. This is the most insidious and destructive mental habit of your mind, the one that makes you unhappy. Must is a word that subtly steals your free will and transforms your life from an adventure into a continuous and debilitating obligation. The secret of inner strength and transformation lies in radically replacing the word must with I choose. This is not just a change of words, it is a complete recoding of your being from the state of a victim of obligations to the state of a sovereign creator of your reality. We'll reveal why your brain, that ancient protective organ, automatically reacts to should as an immediate threat to freedom, and how to break free from this deeply ingrained toxic philosophy of life and relationships. The myth we're debunking: we collectively believe that should is the essential fuel for discipline, self-organization, and ultimate success, and that without this mental pressure, we inevitably descend into the disorder and chaos of laziness. The truth, in reality, should creates powerful mental resistance, causes uncontrollable anxiety, and provokes constant self-sabotage because your mind inherently rejects any violation of its free will and choice. Your brain mistakenly believes that should leads to structure and order in life. In reality, it leads to paralysis of action, mental numbness, and a constant, debilitating feeling of guilt for inadequacy. Insight number 1, the psychology of external control and the erosion of confidence. Practical psychology and the philosophy of freedom say, must is not your voice, it is an instrument of external control that you have unconsciously internalized and made your own. It is the aggressive voice of society, unprocessed parental attitudes, or unrealistic standards from social media. Every time you repeat to yourself, I must do this now, you mentally tell yourself that you have no other choice, and deep down, you really don't want to do it. Your mind, defending your autonomy, immediately reacts to this internal violence with resistance. You start putting things off, procrastination, not because you're lazy, but because your psyche is protecting your inner freedom and will to choose. A mini story of self-sabotage. You tell yourself cruelly, I must finish this project right now, but your body feels an insurmountable heaviness. Instead, you resort to mindless staring at your phone or eating. You subconsciously punish yourself for the obligation, denying yourself action and success. Secret, should turns you into a slave to your own or others' expectations, a slave your mind strives to free at any cost, even at the cost of your own self-sabotage and failure. Insight number 2, scarcity thinking and guilt as the ultimate confidence killer. Dark truth, the philosophy of should inevitably creates and maintains a scarcity mindset. In this system, you are always not good enough, not fast enough, or not rich enough, because you always should be better and live up to an unattainable ideal. If you haven't done what you mentally should, you inevitably feel devastating guilt and deep shame for your weakness. These emotions are the most powerful and effective killers of your inner confidence and your power. Your mind becomes trapped in a vicious cycle of inevitable punishment, increased should, intense resistance and sabotage, guilt and shame, even more should. Your inner power disappears completely in this cycle of self-punishment. Philosophy of life. The word must is an endless mental bill that can never be paid because the standards of perfection always rise faster than you can achieve results. Secret, long-term and sustainable success is impossible where guilt dominates, because your brain associates the process of action exclusively with negative punishment and displeasure. Your thinking must be recoded from slavish submission to external standards to active, sovereign autonomy. Remember, every time you think must, you give permission for internal violence to be perpetrated against your mind. Radically replacing this word is the first step to restoring complete order and gaining inner power. Insight number 3, transforming must into I choose and reclaiming inner freedom. True power in life always lies in the freedom of choice. Your single, yet most difficult, task is to regain complete control of your motivation through a conscious change in your own language and thinking. Consider this comparison: I have to call her, otherwise there will be a fight, immediately becomes, I choose to call her because this conscious step will strengthen my relationship and aligns with my philosophy of partnership. You perform mental alchemy, you exchange external pressure and fear for internal, conscious motivation and autonomous decision. At that very moment, your mind is freed from resistance and begins to work for you. Power transformation mini story: you no longer say, I must find time to exercise. Instead, you say to yourself with full awareness, I choose this time because my mental and physical health is my top priority. You are instantly drawn to action through a sense of self-worth. Secret: the words you use in your inner monologue are the actual code for your brain, defining your habits and behavioral patterns. By changing this key code, you instantly exchange your internal limitations for limitless possibilities. Emotions: from anxiety and guilt to freedom, clarity, and confidence. You live in a state of chronic anxiety not because your life is chaotic, but because your must list is never ending. You are always mentally indebted to an unattainable ideal of yourself and to an abstract world. Your pain lies in a constant feeling of inadequacy and perpetual uncertainty. This toxic state destroys your power in communication, makes you dependent in relationships, and kills your attraction. Awareness leads to absolute liberation. No one, not society, not your partner, not your past, has the right to dictate your value or your basic actions and reactions except you, based on your conscious choices. Power practice: catch yourself in the act of saying must with rigor and discipline. Replace it with two fundamental truths: I can or I can't. Reclaim your sacred right to choice and autonomy. Your clarity and mental order grow exponentially when you realize that all your actions are a conscious choice you make in the present moment, not a forced obligation to someone or something. Philosophy: shifting to I choose gives you an unrivaled sense of autonomy, which is the most important trigger for true, unshakable inner confidence and self-respect. Your power is your awareness. Your mind should work as your most powerful ally, not as a cruel overseer against you. The secret of transformation: stop acting out of obligation and guilt and start acting solely out of a sense of value for your goal and your choice. Must is the voice of the past and the baseless expectations of others. I choose is the voice of the present moment and your absolute personal will. Your confidence will return and become unshakable when you stop mentally being indebted to the ghosts of perfection and others' approval. Power is freedom. Freedom is conscious choice. Choice is a radical rejection of toxic shoulds. Your mind must consciously recode any obligation into a privilege of action that you have created for yourself. A powerful ending: the word must is a heavy anchor that holds you at the bottom of anxiety and guilt. Cast it aside forever and begin to swim. The secret of inner power: drop the word must from your language and your consciousness, and you will instantly recover your lost freedom, autonomy, and the unbreakable power of your conscious choice.